Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brian Conhan, our winner of Teen Young Adult Novel of the Year.
Thank you. Thanks.
So, Brian, this book, The Weight of a Thousand Feathers, you might introduce us to the family that are at the heart of this book, and particularly Bobby, I suppose, who's the main narrator of the book.
So it centres around the character of Bobby Seed, who's 17-year-old, and he lives with his mother and his younger brother. And Bobby is a carer for his mother, who's got a pretty aggressive degenerative form of MS. So Bobby takes on the role and the mantle of the chief carer, and he's also caring for his younger brother as well.
And that idea to put such a weighty topic at the heart of the story, you know, to sort of say it's a story about MS, that's a big decision as a writer, particularly with a young adult audience in mind. So maybe explain why that for you. What was it about that drew you?
Well, it's a weighty topic in the sense that his mother has got MS, as you quite rightly said, but the story's essentially about Bobby's journey in life, you know, and his rite of passage, and how he navigates through his mother's illness, and how he navigates through being a teenager of 17 and the world that's open to him. So I think teenagers now can deal with weighty topics, and teenagers now, not just nowadays, but teenagers in general, from my era, we deal with weighty topics. And I think Bobby epitomises that as well.
I read the book during the summer and I hadn't realised it was officially a young adult book, you know. And then afterwards I was like, oh, you know, that's interesting because you don't pull any punches. And yet, like, it's funny, it's hilarious, it's heartbreaking, it's got all of those emotions involved in it. So why this category for you then? Why that reader?
Well, the honest answer is I don't write for a sort of category as such. I just write the book that feels right for me at the time, and that's up to my publisher to categorise that. I think as soon as you put a protagonist who's a teenager into the heart of the book, or it becomes a central character in the book, it suddenly propels itself and projects itself into the young adult category.
But did you get that? Did you understand that decision? Were you okay with it?
I was happy with it. I mean, I love writing about teenagers. I mean, I was a teenager one time.
No.
And,
you did all that research. You actually became a teenager.
But I was a teenager. But I used to be a teacher.
Okay.
And I taught for a number of years, and I taught secondary school. So the influence never leaves you.
And actually the school scenes are great, and the youth club type thing that he's in.
Yeah.
That rings very true now that I know you had that experience.
Absolutely, and all those experiences and all those anecdotal things that you pick up as a teacher, they never leave you. And as a writer, it's a rich tapestry of information and anecdotal information that you can pick on to write about.
So what's next for you then? Now that you're an award-winning writer?
The book next for me is a book about a young teenage girl dealing with grief and dealing with the loss of her best friend through suicide. So I want to write about suicide and young suicide and teenage suicide, but I also want to do it in a responsible manner.
You don't pick the easiest topics for yourself as a writer. You know, that's really rich territory, but that's tough work.
Yeah, but this world is around us. You know, we're saturated in this world. I mean, I don't write fantasy. I don't write fairy tale. I write the world that is in front of me. And this is a world that's in front of me. Some through experience and some through what I read and what I feel.
I have a confession to make to the rest of the room, which is I tweeted you during the summer. I was so moved by this book. This book is absolutely one of the most powerful books I've read this year. I urge you all to run out and buy it. It's a really, really, truly brilliant book. I was so excited when I heard you'd won tonight because it's so well deserved.
Oh, thank you very much.
Brian
I really
Conhan,
appreciate it.
congratulations.
Thanks.